Hi guys, I was given this little mini camera. I plugged it into my computer. My computer does recognise it, and it appeared to take charge, but as soon as I unplugged it, it switched off again, and it doesn't switch on. And to be fair, I have already taken it apart and I do know what's wrong with it, or at least one of the things that's wrong with it. We'll just cover off the information we can see anyway. It's 1280 by 720p, 30 frames per second, mini DV HD, 1280 megapixels, and around there it also says 12 megapixels high definition. Takes a micro SD in there. What have we got there? Some sort of seal, a mode button and an on-off button. Anyway, plugged it into the computer. The lights do come on. I don't know if we can see them flashing. And my computer does recognise it, and I can use it as a webcam, but as soon as I unplug it again it doesn't take charge, and I do know what's wrong with it, or at least one of the things that's wrong with it. I may be repeating myself here, but I'll just say it again. So we'll have a look inside. It's only got one screw. And I've done this already, and as soon as I took the cover off, unscrew. There we are. Yeah, as soon as I took the cover off, it was fairly obvious what at least one of the problems is. We have a loose wire. It only needs to be soldered back on there. Whether the battery's any good or not, I don't know, but what I'll do is I'll fire up my little mini soldering iron, and we'll put a blob of solder on there and put it back together. If I put that in there, I've got both lights on. If I touch that lead on there, it looks like it goes into charging mode. My finger's probably in the way, isn't it? So yeah, if I just touch that on there, it does look like it goes into charging mode. So we'll take that off again. I'll fire up my little USB soldering iron. I got off eBay quite a while ago. In fact, I've got 3 or 4 of them because I quite like them. That tip of it. Need to wait. It warms up very quickly, but if you don't use it, it cools down again. You have to put your finger on that little spot there to. It must be a capacitive switch. It gets it going again. Yeah, it's hot now. I've got some thin solder here. If I can get it ready. Yeah, that looks okay. Check the end of that's tinned okay. I'll just move it down into the screen a little bit more. Okay, that looks like that's going to melt. Can we get them? It's not so much getting it in position, it's getting it in position without my fingers being in the way for the video. Right, I think we're on. the soldering on before I forget it. Right, so if I stick that in there, okay, I've stuck it in there. Oh yeah, we're into charging mode. So we'll leave that for a few minutes and come back and see if it's taken any charge. As you can see, I've put the case back together. I've also put a micro SD card in there, and I've left it charging for about an hour now. I can feel the tiniest bit of warmth, but it's not hot. But I think for that tiny LiPo battery, that really ought to be fully charged after an hour of charging. So I guess we can just unplug it. Okay, light's gone out. What happens if we press the on-off button? Nothing. Oh well, that looks like that was a total waste of time. I suspect that little battery was no use anyway. So the next thing would be to solder a different battery in there and see if that makes any difference. I wonder if we can actually run it directly off the supply. How about if I use a power bank rather than running it through the computer? So stick that in there. Stick that on there. Lights on there, lights on there. It's back in charging mode. Can I turn it on? How would I know? Because I don't have the instructions. So I've no way of knowing what modes we'd be stepping through. But I think the simple message is that little battery in there is no good, so even though the wire was disconnected, that could be it. It could have been allowed to completely discharge anyway, so it wouldn't take any fresh charge, whether it was wired up or not. As you can see, I've taken it apart again. I'll tell you what I'm up to in a second, but we'll just measure the voltage on that little LiPo. Yeah, 1.12, so that's pretty dead, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I've put an external battery lead into it, and I'm going to use this battery. See what happens when we plug that in. I don't know if this one's charged or not, but it's a nice size to sit outside. Right, that's plugged in. See if we've got any voltage on it, or whether we need to charge it. 3.87, so that one's fully charged. So what happens if we press the on-off button? We are on. We are off. Oh, okay. It did come on. On. Okay, I pressed it once and it's flashing, which would indicate to me that it's recording. So if we just lift it up, sort of point it like that a bit, and we'll have a look in a minute if we recorded anything. Press it again, it stops. Press it again, recording again. Press it again, it stops. Hold it in, and That's turned it off, I think. So if we press it once, so it comes on, press the mode button, and now we've got a blue light on. I'm guessing that's a different resolution, going by the other mini cameras I've got. Again, we're probably too close, so let's move back a little bit. Yeah, back a little bit. Press the button once. That looked like we took a photograph, didn't it? Press it again. Yeah, it looks like we're in photo mode. Not a different resolution, we're just taking photos. Hold that in again. It's off. Hold it in again. We're on. Press it. Recording. Well, that's what I'm guessing anyway. Press it again. Stopped recording. Hold it in. And we're off. Okay, so we got it working through an external battery that I've poked out through the hole that you can normally look at the LEDs through. I'll see if I can get that out, because there's no point in leaving it in there if it's a rubbish battery. I could have done screen capture, but I'm just doing this with my normal camera. My PC has recognised the drive, and that's the recordings, AVI files, and that's the photos, JPEGs, 20 kilobytes, so they're not particularly big. Looks like we got to put something in there to set the date as well, because that's saying 27th of March to 2028. So there must be some way of setting up the date and time, I would think. Some little text file needs to be in there to initialize the date and time, I would think. Anyway, what have we got with one of those photos? That's the edge of the table, I think. Oh no, that's the edge of the meter, isn't it? Let's have a look. Let's go that way. Yeah, that's the edge of the meter. Terrible colour. Let's just turn that off. That should be yellow. Go the other way. Yeah. So that's my meter where I was checking. Say the date. That's quite impressive, that. Okay, so that's the JPEG files. Video. Okay, oh, that's looking down at the table. Picked it up. Yeah, I'll put these videos in the video that I'm making, so we can at least see that it does record. I don't know if there's any sound on there. We'll find out in a minute. Right, got this set up as a web camera, or to be more exact, a capture device for my video editor. It's directly importing it into my Serif Movie Plus X6 is what I use for my video editing. So I'm just pointing the mini camera at the screen. I've this is the second attempt, because the first attempt I forgot to, where are we? Over here. I forgot to click on the audio capture button, so it didn't capture the audio the first time. I'm not sure if it's got image stabilization or it's just a very slow frame rate. Just looking around the room a bit. Right, back to the screen. See if I can point. Where's my finger? Alright, along here are the video clips that I'm going to edit. Over here, I don't know if it's focused, the ones that say SUN at the beginning of them are the video files and the JPEG files that I took as soon as we put the new battery on it. Oh, this is very difficult to coordinate. The video files up there, they're in AVI format, but this appears to be recording, where are we? Over here, WMV format. So we will find out in a minute. That's all a bit jumpy. Anyway, I'll click the stop button there and we'll stop recording. Okay, I pressed it once and it's flashing, which would indicate to me that it's recording. So if we just lift it up, sort of point it like that a bit. We'll have a look in a minute if we've recorded anything. Press it again, recording again, recording. Well, that's what I'm guessing anyway. Press. Right, I think we're recording. I found a text file on the camera there that I've reset for the date and time, so it should be saying 26th of August 2019, 1:42 in the morning. So it's a bit late. I'm going to call it a night now that I've finished playing with this. Yeah, I'll do the editing tomorrow, well, later on today, and then probably take the camera outdoors and give it a go out in the sunlight, assuming it's a sunny day, and see what the video quality's like, because it's not going to be that good in the lighting here, so it's not a fair test. Still, it is working with the external battery, that seems to be okay. And if I press that button, it should switch off.
Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily, so don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.